Hello. So I am going to go on this crazy journey to see, can I generate and create the Apple website with little to no code. I'm going to be using a tool called Locofy. I am fairly familiar with it, have tested it out a few times, and even have a website up with this code generation tool. And what do I mean by this? It is you get your designs and then you're able to generate that into a website. You're able to generate that into an app. And so I'll give you a little more context of that as time goes on. But this is Locofy, and I'm going to try to see how fast can I get this Apple site created inside of Locofy and running as if it was our own. So let's figure it out together. Okay, I'm going to go to Figma. There is this plugin called html.to.design. I'm not saying steal somebody's website, but I do want to try this out. So let's try apple.com and import it to MacBook Pro. And then I also want to import it into a smaller like phone size. So what is crazy about this is it literally grabs all of this, and this is like everything is like, I can even update this text if I wanted to. Isn't that wild? So we have the desktop, and now let's get the iPhone, and I just want to see what the difference is between them, and then we're gonna figure out how to do it. So get ready to walk through the intricacies of how do you use Locofy? How do you get a tool, like how do you get existing designs ready for Locofy? And I think we're going to figure that out together. So this is the examples that we are going to build. Now let's just grab it for face value and see what it looks like in Locofy. So you say run. If you've run Locofy before, it could appear right here, but let's say Locofy beta. Okay, and now let's grab this. Without doing anything, there's a preview button. We're going to click that, and let's go and say Apple, not Apple. And we're just going to make it into, yep, those sound good to me. Now let's go and preview this not Apple. You click preview, and you get to see like what does the website look like. I mean, this doesn't look bad. See a couple gaps and things, but like, oh my gosh, that looks very solid. It's like this is an actual preview of a website, and it is. What happens when it gets smaller? Did it just work? Wait, what? Okay, I was like, it scaled without any work. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get it to scale. So that'll be the tedious part. I may speed up this just a hair. We'll see. Okay. And then let's just try this guy on Locofy. So preview. It's going to look weird, huge, but small. Booyah. Looking golden. And then there's just a few things that are kind of weird. So how do we make this into this without much problems? How do we make this responsive? And if you're ever going to use a code generation tool, you're probably going to run into, well, we already have designs. Why doesn't it just work? And there's ways to just change and make things simple and work and change your way of thinking to make this work for you. And that's what we're going to figure out. So let's dig in. Things with Locofy you want to do is tag layers. But before we tag layers, I really want to just make things a little more responsive, which I guess you kind of have to tag layers to figure that out. So what is this piece? This is a toolbar or a header. So I'm going to call it a header. Very easy. Now let's see what this is built of and consists of. So it doesn't have an auto layout. We'll want to change that. So what I'm going to do, first step is, I'm just going to write this here. 1, convert to auto layout. Why? Because it's going to make your life so much easier in terms of code generation. 2, tag all the layers. 3, I kind of need this to go left-handed or left-aligned. Now, what's the next piece? We got the everything converted to auto layout. We're going to tag all of the layers, and then we're going to make it responsive. Anything else? I think we're in a good spot. And actually 1 and 3 go really well and together. So just looking at this guy, how would we make this responsive? How would we make it grow and shrink and like, what is the width of this? So the width is 1024. We're finding probably 1024 is the container that fits these. Good to know. So I like to make everything auto layout. So let's move this, let's move this, let's move this. And let's go and say this can be full width. Okay, we may run into, I think I could just do this. Yes, it worked. So what I did was I turned this entire page into auto layout. I'm going to give this a fixed width. And then every section inside of here fits within auto layout now. Now, what is auto layout? It allows the layout of this page of the document to be able to stretch all the way, to move in specific directions, to align. It makes everything to do with layout easy, meaning you don't have to worry about, will this, is this aligned pixel perfect? Like, you're gonna know. And it makes aligning and moving and things around so easy compared to just manually doing it. And therefore, that's why it's called auto layout. So this will be your best friend. Okay. So now we have everything left aligned, but we want it to be center aligned. Nice. And so we see just what happened. My confusion is, why is there this white line above it? What is this line? So this is going to be hugging the contents. Oh, there's something hidden. Okay. So now we have this, and I want to turn this into auto layout. So you can do Shift A, and it detects and creates auto layout. So everything inside of here is spaced 25. I'm gonna make it 24 because that just feels a lot more right. Boom. Is it all the buttons are auto layout? Yes, I think so. And this is not auto layout. Does this need to be a thing? Nope. So you can do Command Shift G, or you can right click something and say ungroup if a group is not needed. And so now we potentially have this filling the entire container, and all of these will fit within auto layout. Yep, so this is responsive. What do I mean by that? If I just move this, weird. Let's not worry about that. I don't know what's going on there. But if I shrink this, see how everything's still centered? Eventually it's gonna just cry because it's like, what is happening? But that is how you can make it responsive. And then if it gets to a specific like size, then we need to do a couple things, hide a couple things. So let's see when it comes to this. We'll figure that out in a little bit. Next section, iPad. Okay, so we're here. We have this whole main. I'm going to take out the main. Nope. Don't do that. And then I have border, which I don't know how to identify where that's at. Why is it way down here? Then I have this section. How do I get to this section? Okay. I'm going to move that up. what's happening. Oh, because this is hard-coded. Well, we're going to have to figure this out one thing at a time. Okay. I'm going to just take this section. I don't know. So you grab it. This is probably things you're going to run into in the real world of design. Sometimes it doesn't work exactly how you imagine, and that's okay. So why is this section so big? Doesn't make sense. Oh, literally what? Are you serious? And then what is this border? Why is it there? So I'm going to grab this section, which can be, I'm going to do that real quick. Nope. How do we figure this out? Nope. I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to do is, oh. Okay. See, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm still figuring it out. I have this section now by itself and isolated. So I'm just going to call this iPad. So you can see my key commands. You can right click and say rename. You can also just like double click it. I think you can click and press enter. Nope, that doesn't work, but you can double click it. So I'm going to say this is iPad section. And no, the whole thing is the iPad section. You don't have to have the most beautiful layer names, and we saw how we got this. So you may be running into the layers are confusing, and then like, what is auto layout? Why do I have to make this auto layout? Well, you know what? I'm gonna struggle with you. We're gonna figure it out. And now let's dig into this. So, wow, it's interesting that they chose to do it that way. Whoa, okay. So we'll probably want to do auto layout in the smallest pieces first and then go bigger. Otherwise, I don't want to just like ruin this page and do something. So let's start with the smallest thing. Let's create an auto layout here. So I just clicked auto layout. There's 8 pixels in between each item. Maybe that's by default. I don't know. Let's check this. So you can like keep clicking, or you can hold command and click the piece of text or the item that you're wanting to get to. And we're going to hold option, and I'm going to drag next to it. So there's 3 and then there's 11. I don't know what it was here, but I actually like the 8 pixels. And so this looks good to me. And now we're faced with the, okay, so we have this as a background image, and I don't think we really would need to do anything with that being the background image, but I'm actually going to do something that you're going to be like, why? What is this? I'm going to take this and make it the actual background. So I'm going to click here. You can just click it where it's highlighted and press Command C, so copy it. And I'm going to go to maybe this background section, and where it says fill of white, I'm actually going to paste the image. I know that was weird. Why did I do that? I think I could just delete the image. When you think you can. There we go. Now the image is here. Don't want it to fill. Boom! So what's cool is I believe the image is centered and will always be centered. And so the image is actually just styled on that layer instead of it being its own image layer. Why did I do that? I think it will be more responsive. And in this moment, it makes sense for my brain to not have to worry about the other stuff. So now we're here. We know that at the very middle of the screen, I wish I could try to make this smaller. See how it's centered? Okay, it actually worked. We know at the very middle of the screen is kind of where we want this to be left aligned. And right now it's not an auto layout. So first we've got this, and I'm just gonna call this like text and CTA for the buying the iPad. But now I want to figure out, okay, how am I able to figure out like the half of this and then make it like not in the way of the image? So we have this section, and then we have it wrapped in a div, and then another frame. I'm actually just gonna ungroup this. Okay, well, that one wasn't great. So this is the one with the image on it. So I'm gonna say hero, so it's gonna be section, hero with image. Doesn't matter what I'm naming this. No, if you understand it, then that's great. So I'm gonna go, this one seems unnecessary, it's just framing it but not doing anything. So I'm gonna say ungroup, and it worked. Okay, now this section, I think I literally could just ungroup it and it still works. Okay, now we have just the section and then the text. I think we're in a good spot. So this is gonna be the weird spot. I'm clicking auto layout. It made this weird. So then I'm gonna say fill it. Then can I say center it? That didn't work. What is this padding? Oh, I don't want padding crazy like that. I'm gonna say 16 pixels. 16 pixels is just like when you're doing padding and margin and pushing things to the side and stuff and separating items, we usually go by multiples of 8. And it's just something about it. Ask someone who studied this, I don't know. It just looks good. So that's why we do it. There's probably way better answers for that. So I want a fixed height of this, and I want to say 16 pixels. And then I want to say nothing in between. I'll probably talk about this more as time goes on. But now it's like, okay, as this, that was weird. What is happening? Are you experiencing what I'm experiencing? I think I just want one side of it to get smaller, but the whole thing gets smaller. What is this? Okay. That's what I was trying to do. I don't know why inside of here it does this, but maybe because we've centered this. That's why. Okay. Fixed it. How do we get this out of the way? Well, thank you for asking. You can click this to figure out like the spacing and stuff between, and you see this line on the left. Let's just start making it bigger. I think you can literally just drag. Oop, something's happening. Oop, something's happening. Oop, something's happening. And I know this is just wild, and it's like, would I actually do that? I don't know, would you? Potentially. That's one way to do it. So let's grab this real quick. I don't want it to be that far away. Let's drag it a little closer. Make it feel fun with it. What if we grab this and now we start to shrink it? Okay, it's working. And then we'll have to like change it a little bit whenever it gets smaller. Personally, I'm actually okay with this implementation. So how would I do it another way? Instead of adding a bunch of padding and stuff on that side, I'm actually going to move this to the right. And then I'm going to say on the right, you're going to have to move over. Nope, I can tell this is going to be not a smart idea. So let's say 400. We see that it's moved here, but as the image shrinks, okay. I mean, the problem is there. We've run into the problem. Okay, so we got this section. How happy are we? I'm happy. So when you do this, you start to see that it scales better. I want to do something with all of these links because they're getting in my way. I just held shift and clicked all of these, and I'm going to click shift A, or you could just say layout grid. Nope, that's not true. You can say shift A and it creates auto layout. So another way to do it, so let's go back, is I can right click it and say group selection, and then I can say auto layout. So there's many ways on how you could do it. What I'm going to do is say fill the container and then clip content if necessary. So when the container gets smaller, I think it should just, nope, didn't do what I thought it would do. I'm saying fill it to as big as it can be, but when the container is smaller, oh, because this is saying fixed. Now it's hug. Friends, we will debug that in a bit. I think it's time to go to the next section. iPad Pro. If you have an iPad Pro, let us know. If you are bored with your iPad Pro and you're like, I'm just going to give it away, I'll gladly take it. I will take that off your hands. Okay. So we're faced with a very similar situation, just stuff on the other side. Now, can we do something crazy? Can I literally just drag this, like create a brand new version of this, grab the image from here, put the image here. So like literally I just like held command, clicked it. Oh, I guess I'll move. No, this is fine. See, click this, copy it. I go here to this image. Then I go here, fill. And then I say, fill it. Okay. I take this out. I take this out. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just swapping the exact work that we did here over here. Let's grab this. So we have iPad Pro supercharged by this. So let's grab this and let's say auto layout like we did. So I did Alt Shift. Let me move this here. And we had it where it was like 8 pixels separated. Is this just one? This is not what you'd see in real life, so I'm just gonna fix it for us all. What you'd actually see is like learn more, and then you'd see like buy now, as in like 2 different links. And if you wanted them to be side by side, what you can do is click it, and you can hold shift and click this. And then guess what we could do again? Shift A is auto layout. Why didn't it get side by side? This is like the part on Blue's Clues where I ask a question and then you answer, you just yell at the TV, you yell at the screen. I just switched it so you had vertical direction and now we're going horizontal. Let's put 16 pixels in between this so it's easier to understand that they are separated. Now, what's one thing I'm running into here? This is so long for some reason. I don't want it to be that long. So this is saying hug, and this is just saying I want to be as long as possible. How is that possible? iPad Pro. This is not auto layout. So I clicked auto layout. It has 600 pixels of padding in between on this side. Do you need 600? No. And now, typically we do 16. I think that is very nice looking. Let's add 16 pixels of padding just for fun on this side. And now, I'm gonna take this, move this up here because this is where the formatted one is. I know this looks good, but it's not the one that we're doing. Okay. So we have 343 of padding on the left side. I'm gonna grab this and click this guy and say, well, I want to put 343 on that side. Yes, we're getting close. I'm gonna take this out. 343 didn't do enough, so you can do this, press up a bunch. You can actually hold shift and it goes up in increments of 10. So let's kind of do this until it's almost aligned with that. I mean, this feels wrong. Because it's like so much padding. Is someone actually going to run into that? Okay, if you're ever wanting to test in Figma, how do I align something? If you press Shift R, it brings up these ruler lines, and you can actually just pull from the side, and I can make it line up with this and say, boom. Wow, we are very close. So I could literally just go down, 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 down. And you can click it again, press delete. And now, moment of truth, I'm going to delete this. I have this iPad Pro section. I'm actually going to call it section iPad Pro. And now let's grab this. Let's see. I think it's working pretty good, because at some point we're going to move it up. I'll explain that when it comes time to do a little more of the responsive. But keep in mind, like, this is what's happening on that's, if you can see, like, those aren't scaling, but this, oh man, I think we're doing a good job. Okay, what is the next step? Grabbing this one. There's a face in the way of this. Okay, so I'm going to delete that section. Delete that section. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, weird. Okay, so I'm going to move this out. Good. Sometimes you may have just weird layers, and just try to figure out what is an unnecessary layer. Because maybe you just group things a bunch and you move things around, and then you accidentally just left groups there, but they didn't need to be there. So that's kind of what I just ran into, is like, what it was unnecessary out of this. So let's see what we have. I'm gonna get to this. So this piece is the header. This is the section, and I'm gonna do a little bit of like making it a lot more simplified. So this one is the section where you say iPhone 14 Pro. Okay, we are 27 minutes in. Is it possible to get this responsive and created in online? I don't think I'm actually gonna host this. I don't think I can. In under an hour, can this be done? And most likely. So let's go look at our sections. We see wrapper, content. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing I did with the picture that I did last time, to make it scale with it. See how the picture is just staying stale? Okay, so I'm gonna keep clicking until I get to that picture. So I'm gonna say copy, and I'm gonna go to this one, this layer, because I don't think this layer is needed. I bet you money if I just boom. If it's not doing anything, you can take out the layer, and that's a really cool thing in learning. So we see I'm here, and the image is small. What did we do? We click the image, and we say fill it. What is it doing? It has filled it. So now, nope, I have to do this. Get ready for the auto layout. Fill container, because you don't want it just to hug it, because watch, if it hugs it, it's going to stay huge and stay there. But if I say fill to the width of the screen, so I'm getting this frame, and I'm clicking this, fill container, watch the magic. It's like when you're like, hey, look, I could do this really cool trick, and then you can't. I've run into that before. Okay, so let's check this out. We have this section. Can I just copy this and move this here? Maybe I had the image on the wrong one. I'm going to say fill. Okay. I'm going to take that out. If the image is here, and if it's filling it, something's wrong. Phoning a friend for help. What is the difference? I do see that there's 16 and 16. For fun. Oh. Take that out. There we go. And now, boom. Okay. So I have this, I filled it, this one. I don't understand what's inside of this, so I'm actually just going to take this and say ungroup. Now I'm going to take this and say a fixed height, but how big was it? Let's go back. 736. They wanted it to be huge. So why did I want to take this div away or this frame away? Because they're just not really doing anything. So I'm going to say ungroup. Now we're faced with it small, and I'm going to restore it back to its original height. And then I'm going to say fill the container, fill the width of it, fill it, fill it, fill it. So now we have this and this. I guess this is not auto layout. So this is not needed either. So I will turn this to auto layout. I will tell this to be the height. And now we have this. I'm resetting all this. It does not need to be that large. Okay. And I'm saying hug the contents of this. So we have this container. We want this to be centered. These are separated 8 pixels apart. I'm going to copy what we did here and just move the learn more and buy now. There. Pro beyond. Looks good. Now, I guess I should have kept like an OG template there. But let's use this for reference. So there's 14 Pro. How much spacing is at the top? Let's say 48, just for fun. 64, looks better. Friends, we have gotten it. Like that section is responsive for mobile. Good job. Okay. Now there's like some weird things because there's like sections between sections, like these little lines. So one cool thing you can do now that this is all in like auto layout is I can say, hey, for each of these, I actually want there to be 16 pixels in between it. So I'm saying wedge 16 pixels in there, and boom, look what just happened. 16 pixels. And we have like, it was just so easy. So personally, I, for the sake of time, want to remove these features. Not that I actually really want to remove them because they're probably really great features. And I'm going to move this into here. So what is happening? It's got to move out of main. And this is TV plus gallery. So I'm going to say section TV plus gallery. And you get all these things. Is this actually like really long? Oh. I can see this is long. This is just the carousel dots. So I'm going to click auto layout on that one. Another 14 pixels. I'll do 12. Just having things where they're not multiples of like 4 feels weird. Let's check this out. I don't know why, but I cannot click into this. So what is this? What? How can it be 1 pixel? So we're going to run into some fun stuff here. I'm just going to go for it. Auto layout. What happens? Wow. There's a lot of them. So I'm going to say clip content because I don't want to see all of those. And actually, I'll just do this. Over the entirety of the frame, you can say clip content. So if something goes outside of these boundaries, it'll disappear. Watch. Boom. And now let's look at this carousel and figure it out. I don't know. Why is this piece so important? That unordered list. If it's 705, but it does nothing and there's nothing inside of it. So this is the, oh, well, how about I make this 705? And I take that out. Truthfully, I just don't know what I just did, but something happened in this section. Ooh, what is that? Is it pause? It was hidden for that. Okay. Now, why is this fixed? Oh. Healthy reminder. You can't do it all in one setting. I'm feeling it. I'm tired. But I am having a blast. So we're going to figure out this carousel and potentially the footer. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. Man. You know the best way to do a footer is you grab it. You start to isolate everything inside of here that is not important. And there's a special key. It's called the delete key. I feel so much better after doing that. I'm kidding. And then let's go do our thing. Of course, this doesn't need to be that big. So let's say hug fixed. Yep, you get some of the beatboxing. Hug contents, and now we have the footer. I don't know what's at the top that's making it so big, but okay. So what is this extra piece? Boom! Okay, we have the not Apple site. So I actually have to probably put not Apple somewhere. I'm gonna actually flip this. You can say flip horizontal. Yeah, I want them to know this is not Apple. How do we undo infringement on this? Wait, why was this turned into a vector? Well, probably because we don't own the font. That's smart. It's so smart. Okay. I think it's very helpful to know how to do this, so we'll figure this piece out together. Okay, so you have this div. And this is, so we have our TV section, and it's full width. I'm probably going to put 16 pixels on the side, just like doing that, 16 pixels on the top. Feels a lot more breathe room. I click the next thing inside of here. What is this? Is it needed? Let's think. I don't think that was needed. So I'm going to say now Shift A, and I'm actually going to tell everything to turn right. And okay. Now I'm going to tell this to fill, and I'm going to center these. But now inside of this section, it doesn't know how to have distance between the next thing. So I think that's clean. Now I have this as the carousel. So many divs. If you're familiar with web development, you're probably like, oh, so many divs, it's not fun. Okay. It doesn't just feel responsive. Okay. So this is with the image. And then what is this stuff? Why is it not showing? What is that? So this div, I want this to be right there. I thought it would be on top of the image. Is it visible at all? No, it's literally nothing. Okay, so how do we make sure that it's that big? I want it to be as big as it can be. So this would be one of the cool things that I'd love to see in Figma in the future. Can you have aspect ratio where you just say, yeah, be 100% width, and it would scale within the aspect ratio. I don't see that here, but look, when we do this, booyah! Because it's not working with, wait, what? For some reason, I clicked hug contents and it says that's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna allow that to be a thing. I'm gonna take all of these and delete them and just get this image. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna right click on this image and say duplicate. Is that a thing? You know what I'm gonna do? You can hold Option and drag and it will create another version of that thing. We're learning tips and tricks, and I'm gonna delete that. So carousel, I'm gonna say that there's 16 pixels between these two. And also, I just love a good like 16 pixels. Let's do 24 to make it a lot more fun. And then give this 24 between them two. Okay, more than that, we'll say 24 as well because it's desktop. Okay, 24, 24. And then on Figma prototype, you could say horizontal scroll, and so it'll scroll. So this carousel, I want it to be hug contents, so you can horizontal scroll this. Let's play this. Oh. This say options fit to screen. Nope, options fit with. I think we're on the Not Apple website. And you can scroll. Nope, you can't. Why not? I think we worked really hard to make this scrollable. We're getting so close, so that's not the thing. We want this to be scrollable. Why does it say no? Oh, because the layout needs to be scrollable. Voila! But we're going farther than that. We are wanting this to be ready for Locofy. So all of that to say, let's run this. Let's run this bad boy. Let's preview it. Okay, I see something hidden right there. I don't know what that is. Okay, I see that looking weird too. And then this being cut off right there by the container. Hey. Okay. This piece does still work. Probably want the size of the section to be smaller. We're getting closer and closer to that responsiveness. So let's dig into here. Something about, there's another search bar. There's like a hidden search. Yep, that's weird. Okay. And I'm gonna say you can be your normal size of being a glass. Why is it being difficult, do you ask? I don't know. Oh. so close. There we go. It might work now. Not necessarily against that. That wasn't bad. Okay. One last try. One last for mankind. Meow. Man, working for not Apple is a little hard, I would say. I'm kidding. Now that we have this, we can do some cool stuff. Now I want to figure out, okay, let's get this working on mobile. So we have preview. Got this. Looks good. We determined that earlier. Let's go look at this. I'd say that looks good. We'll figure out these little guys. I don't know what that is. And we'll figure out that in a second. Now, we're on tablet mode. And so I'm thinking this looks fine, but this does not. So let's go to this iPad Pro, Charged by iPad Pro section. And now we'll say that we'll know this is a container and we know this is a section. So it's tagged. You see it refreshing. Now what we can do is, instead of that, we'll say the direction of this. Let's change some of the padding that's on it. So it's not this guy. We're thinking of this one specifically. This is just like a div. And I'm going to change the styling right here, because we're going to see that there's a crazy amount of padding. Oh, what just happened? Oh, okay, we're on 768. Let's just turn this to 16. Okay, cool. We're seeing it. Now we want this to, instead of this whole thing being where the direction of the auto layout is centric, we want to actually be center top. So how do we do that? There's not a section in here right now, so what I'm going to say is I'm going to go to advanced properties, and I could just say, if you know Flexbox, great, this will make sense. If you don't, then it won't make sense. So I'm going to say align items. Yeah, we need a debouncer on this. Flex start. Okay, and if that doesn't work, then you go to justify content, and then you say flex start. And then it goes up. Okay, that is what we want. And now it's like, okay, well, it's up, but now it feels a little squished at the top. So let's just say 24 pixels. Do you love it? I don't know if I love it. I want to make this section a tad smaller in height. So this height says this. I want to see what it looks like with 600. Okay, I think we're getting where I actually like this. Now we need to fix the supercharged by. So this piece, let's see what's going on. I'm going to close the preview, because sometimes the preview, interesting. So what is happening here? Supercharged by hug contents. Okay, that probably fixed it. It had a static width on it. Yo. Okay, I'm actually gonna make this section a hair smaller again, just to try it out on this. Editing 768. Let's say 500. Maybe if I make it bigger. My goal right now is to try to make this more like visible without getting in the way. Okay, I think that's good. I do like their tool sets right here, and so I would like to see a debouncer. So whenever I make a change in here, it's not running all the changes effectively immediately. It's going to take a second and say, okay, 300 milliseconds or 500 milliseconds have passed since something was entered. And so now let's refresh the page, because on every single one is going to be kind of hard. Boom. Boom, that looks good. That already looks good. And now we just want to get these guys to fit. So we're so close. We're so close. I think this is fun. And so this will be these. So this is going to be an image of what I clicked, right? Yep. And styling, we technically want it to be a width of, what just happened? Maybe it doesn't know it's an image. And the width is auto. So what if I said I want the width to be 100%? Okay, now I see something happening here. It thinks it's only pixels. Oh, because this is full size. Okay, auto. Let's go to 768. Okay, now the width of this. What? I should be able to. I'm on 768. Can I not change this? Percent. Oh, but why does it feel like it's inactive? Okay. Okay, that was very confusing. It may have changed something inside of here. Yep. How sad. So it did mutate it somehow. Oh. Okay. Okay. So let's say hug. Now we're back. And we're figuring out this image. So 768, I'm going to say percentage, and I want you to be, 100%. Not pixels. We're so close. Okay. Humongous. I don't want it to be 100%. Okay. What I'm gonna do is not mess with this, and I'm actually just gonna turn off the preview real quick because it's getting a little slow. And what I'm gonna say is max width is a value of I want it to be about 75% of the viewport width. If you know what it is, you know what it is. This is one of those things I'm not gonna explain. Okay, we're seeing it. Now the height, though. Height should be let's see if we can do this. I'm going to undo this and I'm going to say aspect ratio. This is a newer CSS property. Helps you actually have like an aspect of what's going on. So I'm going to say 1187 divided by 667. Can I not have the, what? It's a string value. Come on, buds. No. Can I paste a string value into it then? Like I have to have the ability to say, okay, we're gonna try it again. Haha, nope, didn't work. Oh, so sad. Okay, aspect ratio is not gonna work. How bad do I want this? Oh my gosh, 50 minutes. Okay, I want to be in an hour, so You saw nothing. You saw nothing. And then this, I'm gonna just get this. just this piece of text, and take all this out, and I'm going to say provided by not Apple. And I'm going to hug it. I'm going to send to this guy, and I'm going to give it a little bit of spacing so it feels nice and snug. So 24. Okay. What? Get out of here. And then, okay. What is this? There's a background on it? That was weird. And then, what is happening? Oh. Okay. We have our Not Apple website. And one last thing on this is I'm going to change these to this. And then oh, I can't change that. Will I get sued if I publish this? I mean, they don't lead anywhere, so. Oh, each of these links should be a Rickroll link. We're going to do it. Okay. So you say Rickroll, and I know the link because I go to it very often. So what we're going to do is we're going to tag these because that's what you should do. And we're going to say link, URL, open in a new tab. No, replace it. I think that's fun. This, link, URL. And I think one thing that would be cool is I think we could literally just click this and it would work automatically. Yep. Isn't that fun? So we're going to preview this. Oh, I have like this pausing filter on it. Okay, so last thing, I'm going to take a little bit of time to clean up that, and because I want this to maybe all I gotta do on this one is add a little more. I think this is container. I just called it a div, and let's say on styling of 468, I'm going to do less of this. I'm going to say 250. Oh, actually they had the designs up there. So what I'm going to do is say 16. Okay. And then I'm going to add some margin top in this section so that it has some space. So we're in this, we never called it a section. Let's go to styling, let's say 768. And I'm gonna say 425, and there's padding, 16 pixels is 24 pixels. Okay, one thing that I want to change is the flex direction. Or not the direction, I just want to move it up. So we're going to say kind of the same thing that we did earlier. Okay, we're getting closer. So how do we make this picture smaller? Because it's pretty tall. Okay, we're getting there. And now I want to give it a little bit of like margins at the top. So margin, top, or probably padding top. Let's turn this into, big that is, but let's just guess. Margin top, 64 pixels. Oh, but the image is a specific color. Good to know. So that is margin, but we don't want to do that. We want to do padding. And then 64 pixels. But what does that do? It just pushes this down. So that's not what we want to do. Because I want it to look like this. Let's put on our thinking caps. I think the margin was fine. We may just have to put a background color. And that pushes that there. What if it's the image that we should do? So we have the image. Object fit. I don't know the values. Cover. No. And this is when it's good to go and look up some CSS stuff. We're at 1 hour 2 minutes. So we're saying fill, contain, none, scale down. Scale down might work. I said scale down. What if we say none? What if we say fill? Huh, how is this possible? This is gonna allow people to get rickrolled. I'm excited. And then on mobile, I'm just gonna tell this specific area. I'm just gonna call this a div, and this guy on mobile has this beautiful property called display. None. Yep. Okay, we're getting there. Now iPad. How do I do this iPad? So I have the section. I go to 428. Can I say become bigger? Let's make it 600. Let's make it 400. Okay, 500 was actually pretty good. So then, inside of this, I want it to have extra space so that this could be, oh, okay. I'm not proud about what I'm going to do. I'm gonna say add some padding, top, and I'm gonna say 64 pixels, kind of like what we talked about earlier. 128 pixels. Something's being weird. Okay. There's a few things we got to do because some things are a little messed up. But the first thing we're going to do is say this is going to be position. And I'm going to choose it as relative. Why? Because when I zoom into this and I go here, I could tell this to be position. And then I could say absolute. And then the cool thing about that is I could say top 0, and it should move to the top. Do you see how it did the move to the top thing? I did not. Okay, so now I'm a little confused. That's cool. Okay, how in the world can we get this up? But we can get this color. So it's FB, FB, FB. So we need this to say, let's give it a background color. We can give it a background color of even this. We can edit, styling, not here. So stroke, shadow, nope, cursor, color. And you want it to be the hex value. Let's preview. Looks good. Looks okay. But it didn't fit it. And I think it's because it's margin. It's pushing it away, not padding. Okay. Why is it fighting the padding? We shall figure out. Okay. Wait. Oh, it's not making the image bigger. Oh, it's because the image is content fit. Okay. I'm not actually pushing down a real image. I'm pushing down a div. I'm committed. We are gonna make this look good. Okay. Because I got the Rick Rollings. I can't stop now. You have to adjust. So this is the background is in that. The image is in that. I kind of still like that. But how do we get this where it can go from here to here? Let's tinker just with this by itself. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to tell this to go to the top. This is what we've played with. And now we have this, and we want to say fit, nope, crop, nope, tile, nope, fill. Okay, we may not be able to mimic that same UI. Unless this section had something hidden, a hidden talent that nobody knew about. I'm going to call this hidden section. Why didn't it work? Hidden section. So hidden section, from what you'd imagine, is hidden. But get ready, because it is not hidden when, and this is just going to be like our spacer. Can I just do this by itself? Wow, that's so cool. Okay, now we have hidden section. What I'm going to tell hidden section to do is you are going to be a thing now. You are alive now. So display. So right now I think it thinks display none. We're not hiding it though. We're going to show it. Where'd it go? And it's got a width of something and a height of that. Oh, we're still facing the problem. Maybe the hidden section can be out of the section? Wait, what did I do? Undo, 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 undo. So I just have this, and then there's a hidden section here, somehow attached to something that's not theirs. Okay. Let's move this into here. Let's add these two together. Section hero main. Okay. So what I'm thinking is if I push this here, yes, and it pushes the image on top. Thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna have to do this again. Let's preview it, but let's go to 428. Oh, something's happening. This will be done before an hour and 30 minutes where we have created something super awesome. Okay, we see that the hidden section is no longer hidden, but in this, what we want to do is get the container, say it's a div, give it a little more justice. It is the main. Okay, no, it's no. Thank you. Oh. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, but it's like, okay, now how much do we want the hidden section to be? How big do we want it to be? Truthfully, probably hidden section could be, and default, we could say it's 200. Oh. Okay. Okay. So now we could go back to this text and we could say, so what I would like to see is if I've clicked 428, if I've clicked this on the media query and I switch layers, I want it to be the same media query that I was at previously because it helps me stay in context. So top, let's say we want the top to be 16 pixels. Okay. And now let's get the background color for this section, for the whole section. Do we remember the color was like BF or FB, FB, FB? I think it was that. Okay, let's try it again. Do you see it? Yeah, looks right. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit more in the text. So I'm gonna do text 428, and I'm gonna say 32 pixels. Okay, I like it. So what we're gonna do is grab this, we're gonna put it inside of here, fill it, take that out. Let's give this a go, give it a run, and are we responsive? Beautiful. 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 Oh, it's so beautiful. Wow. So now what we're gonna do is say view code, view in code builder. Right now I'm gonna ignore this. Don't ignore it. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to publish not Apple and make it a thing. But I hope that if you watch through this whole thing, I mean, thank you for doing that in the first place. And second, I hope you just learn something. Like debugging, if you learn something about Figma, if you learn something about Locofy, it's exciting. Okay, we're just going to walk through this whole process of getting it published. I want you to access this. Okay, we will look at that in a bit. I'm going to deploy this. Well, let's double check that it looks good on here. Yep. Deploy to Netlify. I'm not gonna show this piece to you. I don't want to have my account on there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna publish Not Apple. I'm gonna put that in the comments section of this. Thank you for watching, taking time just to learn what in the world is Locofy. What is code generation? Why would I want to do that? And how to build the Not Apple website. So please go to whatever the link will be. I'll put it somewhere up here, Not Apple, and play around with it. This was generated code. We didn't really write code. Like, you can fine tweak things if you want to. Whether you are a developer, a designer of like beginner, intermediate, advanced, I believe Locofy can be a tool for you. Thank you for going on this hour-long journey and a little more to see, can we make Not Apple? And I'd say for a good chunk, yes. Like I said earlier, huge learning that I did when programming and designing is you can't do the whole thing in one go. You want to build a whole feature, you want to build a huge app, take time. Take it into little segments. They say you eat the cake one piece at a time. I don't want to say the other one about the elephant, but one thing at a time. Take breaks, know your limits, but like learn. And each incremental piece grows it more and more and more. So thank you for going on this journey. Go to Not Apple, whatever the website is, and stay tuned for more instructional videos. Probably not this long. Every once in a while I'll do stuff like this, but had a fun time.